Welcome to this audio-described film from Sadler's Wales Digital Stage, which follows dancers Germaine Acogny and Malou Airaudo as they performed at the Festival dei Due Mondi in Spoleto in June 2022. They danced a new duet, Common Grounds, in a programme with The Rite of Spring by Pina Bausch, performed by a company of 39 dancers from 14 African countries. The film, of just under 20 minutes, shows extracts from Germaine and Malou's rehearsals and performance, with contributions from members of the Rite of Spring company. Germaine Acogny, aged 78, is tall and lithe, with luminous dark brown skin. She's shaven-headed, with a few lines of age down her chiselled face. Her generous mouth splits easily into a smile. She wears round glasses with purple frames and dangly earrings, and first appears in a brightly patterned orange top. As she strolls through Spoleto, Germaine wears loose sandy yellow linen top and black trousers, with long strings of coloured beads. She leans lightly on a red walking stick. Malou Airaudo is a white woman of 74, a little shorter than Germaine, with a relaxed, erect bearing. Her expressive face has neat features, with dark eyes, and is traced with delicate little lines. Her dark chestnut hair is pulled back into a single plait and worn up at the nape of her neck when she performs. Malou is light-footed, using the supple, fluid movements of her arms to enhance the emotions of the dance. She first appears in loose black top and leggings as she rehearses. When performing, both women wear floor-length flowing black dresses that leave their arms bare. Clémentine Deluy, a dance artist and teacher with the Rite of Spring company, is a white woman in her 40s. Her brown hair is tied back from her slim face, and she wears a short-sleeved charcoal grey dress. 3 of the young black African dancers from the company make contributions. Anik Ayeboy wears a blue-grey t-shirt. Her dreads are tied back from her fine-featured face. Vasco Pedro Marine is a slender young man with short hair and a neat beard. He wears a cream t-shirt. Serge Arthur Dodo, in black t-shirt, has an open, bearded face and is well-muscled. The company performs on an expanse of rough, reddened sand, vivid against a black backdrop, wearing loose cotton costumes. A black and white image of choreographer Pina Bausch shows a slim, attractive young white woman with dark hair. Germaine's husband, Helmut Vogt, is an older white man with a rounded face and a thatch of white hair. He wears a colourful loose shirt above white trousers. Spoleto nestles in a valley among green mountainsides. A view over the small city shows a jumble of grey stone buildings under terracotta roofs. A high, narrow aqueduct crosses the valley. Classical arches and statues are dotted around the streets. The church has a tall, square bell tower, with Renaissance-style paintings on the walls of its lofty interior. The white façade of the Teatro Giancarlo Menotti has a series of arches. The Baroque horseshoe-shaped auditorium is framed by balconies adorned with gilded decoration above the crimson seats of the stalls. Text on a black screen. June 2022. Germaine Acogny and Malou Airaudo arrive in Spoleto, Italy, to dance at the renowned Festival dei Due Mondi. It's part of an extensive tour of the most prestigious venues in Europe, North America and Australia. They are performing a newly created duet called Common Grounds. They share the evening with 36 dancers from 14 African countries, performing the restaging of The Rite of Spring by Pina Bausch. It first premiered in 1975 and was danced by Malou when she was part of Tanztheater Wuppertal. Malou is 74, Germaine is 78. Germaine Acogny, dancer, choreographer and founder of ECOLE des Sables. I dance. I'm 78 years old. I continue dancing. I love dancing and it's my greatest pleasure. She looks out over Spoleto.
Do you think there are some parts of dance that are more focused on youth?
Malou.
No, you don't have to be young. First, it has to be a necessity to dance. Otherwise, why? Why? You have to love what you do.
Malou dances barefoot, reverses lightly across the stage. Malou Airaudo, dancer, choreographer and teacher. Germaine and Malou on stage, bodies pressed close, arms reaching. Title, No Space for Age. Views of Spoleto in pale mountain light. Germaine and Malou walk arm in arm through winding streets, past buildings of soft grey stone into light, airy rooms. As long as I enjoy dancing, I will continue. And the day I get bored, then I'll stop. Malou rests her hands on Germaine's shoulders, flicks playful fingers. But for the moment, I'm very curious, and I still have projects.
I don't think I'm old.
Malou speaks.
I don't think I'm just a human being, and to give what I can give.
The pair glide past slender, elegant arches. A younger woman stands in a sunlit street.
So I joined the project in 2020 with the Rite of Spring.
Clémentine Delouis, dance artist and teacher.
I've been like a student of Malou. I took so much from this woman that I also today pass through those dancers from Rite of Spring.
Warming up on a bare stage, a phalanx of dancers, fingers flutter, open hands pulse, the group dips and lunges, synchronized in slow motion.
I started from the beginning on to open the movement and the choreography to all the dancers.
Clémentine rehearses the company as they pace out the dance steps.
And with Malou, it's not 100%, it's 200%. That's why the role that I do with this project is pretty intense, but somehow like I cannot be half because I learn from people who are not half.
Vasco Pedro Marin, dancer in the Rite of Spring.
With Malou, she's very fun. She's a lovely woman. I like her personality. She's always smiling.
Malou relaxes with the company at an open-air restaurant.
We had I think around 3-4 classes with her. She's very specific with the body and the way.
Dancers, arms swooping, springing, knees high.
What I love is to find the personality of people. So then you look not only the legs, you look the person. You see the eyes, you see the body. See what she can do, what she can do. And this I love. Through technique, a different way.
The company surges in a flowing mass. As one, their arms sweep up and back over their heads as they advance, dipping and pivoting.
I dance because I'm a dancer, but it's not I want to dance. It's because the motivation to be with one woman like her and the way she moves, we are completely different. And this opposition and to be on stage together and to share this, and for me to be with Germaine on stage and to take her in her arm and to say, come on, we are women, we are mother, we are grandmother, we are human being, but you can love someone like this.
Hand in hand against a fiery red backdrop, Germaine and Malou stand facing, hands gripping a slender vertical pole between them, each reaching gentle hands to guide the other. Annick Ayiboe, dancer in the Rite of Spring. I met Germaine in 2015 when I was in Senegal for my first year of training. I discovered the story of Germaine. I was fascinated by this lady who built this school. She's an example and an inspiration for me. Images of dance classes in Africa. Serge Azododo, dancer in the Rite of Spring.
I think I met Germaine, we call her Malou and Germaine because yeah, it's our mother. It was a certain morning, she was on the roof on her house in the school, like she was exercising. I was like, wow, who is that person? It's just magic, it's just magic. You see someone, you see a body, you see an history at the same time. You see a lot of energy, you see her moving, you cannot like feel how can she move until the age that she have now.
Still images of Germaine performing. Annick, the strength she has to bring African dance to the world. Germaine sways and flexes with flowing grace. Her technique changed the way I dance, the way I see dance. Dancers leap side by side. Germaine, for me, the body is the reflection of nature. The chest for me is the sun, the buttocks are the moon, and the pubis is the stars. I consider that in a human being, there is the cosmos, which is eternally moving, right? But the basis of my technique is the tree, the cheese tree, the capoquier, which means you have to be absolutely rooted and take the elevation, take the leaves, the influences from elsewhere, but remain yourself. Germaine and her companion Helmut walk among a little group of trees surrounded by pale stone buildings. Germaine leans her body against the downward furrows in the trunk of a large tree. She presses her forehead to the bark. Her fingers explore its rich texture, her bare feet flat on a carpet of dry pine needles. She presses her ear close, as if listening for its heartbeat. Her eyes close. Fingers rest lightly across the deep ridges, a chunky ring on one finger. Her hand smooths away as she draws back. She rejoins her companion with a smile. Lasco speaks.
It's a mother of African contemporary dance, so we used to say Mama Germaine. As she said, like every woman, it's a mother. Doesn't matter the age.
Germaine gazes out over the city. She meets a woman with 2 young boys, poses for a photo, hands round the boys' shoulders. Germaine and Helmut explore the city, light a candle in a church. I like to travel a lot with Helmut. I like when I dance. I like when I visit museums. When I walk in the streets. When I go to the posh areas and buy nice things. I find that at 78 years old, I enjoy life better now than before.
Et je trouve qu'à 78 ans, je profite mieux de la vie maintenant qu'avant.
A tall, square bell tower. Germaine and Helmut sit in the church, enjoying the soaring architecture. Germaine lights a candle in front of a statue of a saint.
Saint Rita. She was married, and I think her husband is assassinated, and I think she had two children, and after she go to be religious, to be nun. You have big problem, you can ask her to help you.
Germaine opens her hands in prayer before the statue. She smiles, holds up a prayer card of St. Rita. Inside the theatre's Baroque auditorium, framed with gilded balconies, Malou flexes alone on stage.
How do you feel about your body? How has that changed or stayed the same?
You mean what? A day and now?
Yeah.
You always have pain. You have pain all the time as a dance because you stretch, you feel the back, the arms, the hands. I think, if I remember, it was always the same. Sorry, but it's really like you always have something to say. Oh, my back, oh my legs, oh my foot, oh my shoulder. You know, you have to stretch again. You have to make your body go.
Germaine, with age, we have a different view of old age, and I think that we're responsible for our body. We have to look after it. Even sometimes when we get up and have pain, I listen to my body, I listen to what it tells me. Germaine prowls on the balls of her feet. Germaine and Malou, in black dresses, arms round each other's shoulders, advance across the broad stage. Serge.
I remember she was performing also the Sacre, and 3 days, I think, before the show, she had a very strong pain at the knee, and she was working with wood, like she was not okay, but she was still working, rehearsing every day. So we were all like worried, Mama, are you gonna perform? The show is in 3 days. But this night, wow, it was something else. She was another person. She did the show from the beginning until the end, and she was strong. We were like scared, but her, she was another level.
Facing, uncurling arms like a flower opening, Malou smooths a rounded stone across Germaine's bare back.
Before New York, I was in a company, contemporary company, and Manuel Alum came to teach, and he was a modern a teacher, and I really loved the way he was. So I decided to go to New York, and Pina came in New York in the studio from Paul Sanasardo, and Paul said, kids, come on here, you're going to meet the most incredible artist you never met in the world. And Pina came.
A black and white image of Pina Bausch.
Then it was beautiful. We met each other and was like we were like sisters.
A young Malou, dark hair flowing.
It's come one day that you say, I want to speak about humanity. I want to touch people. I want to do something that, not just beauty.
Malou spins, Germaine circles. Malou opens her arms wide, curls them back into herself. Annick.
Through her, I can see Pina Bausch. I don't know why, but I can see Pina Bausch through her.
To dance the right and to have the opportunity to dance the chosen one, for me, is really an honor. The Rite of Spring Company perform on rough, reddened sand.
C'est vraiment un honneur.
Malou has danced it several times, and that gives me personally a lot of stress and pressure. I would like her to be proud. The dancers crowd, eyes on Anique in a red dress. She judders and spasms, hair flying, jabs her arms in manic thrusts, snapping them round her frame.
Malou has been dancing also this piece for so many years. She did also so many different roles inside. I also danced it under the eyes of Pina, which was, you can imagine, like something very strong. And today it's my time to give it back, to share this transmission to those dancers.
Clémentine paces across the stage. Her gaze ranges over the rehearsing dancers.
The day that we are today in 2022, it's so important for me to see two ladies like this with the experience they have, to see them like how they work, you know, like every day they do a run through, you know, like every day, like Malou before the show, she go through her things, you know, like alone on stage, which is a very beautiful moment to be a witness, because nobody see that, and I love to sit there and to watch her like with her costume, you know, going through a movement.
Unique. Yes, to see Germaine and Malou dancing at over 70 years old, to be honest, it's very inspiring. I would like to continue until I'm 80 years old. Germaine and Malou on stage, silhouetted against vivid backdrops.
I don't like to speak about age because it's not what I see, you know, like it's no space for that on stage. It's a matter of what you give. Yesterday I watched her from the last balcony, you know, I was looking from top and all her movements are going, you know, like up, and it was like she was talking to me, you know, like all the time. And it's such an inspiration.
Germaine guides Malou's arms, enfolds Malou within her.
It's not word, it's something else, I see. You know, it's something else that I feel to give to people do you understand me? Do you understand me? And if they do, I think it's beautiful. We don't need to speak. If they feel, then it's beautiful, I think. And this is why dance is beautiful, I believe.
Germaine's swaying frame is rooted. Malou pads softly across to her.
It's really an inspiration, you know, like when you see Germaine just like walking to the front and looking at you, like she's going through yourself.
It's very important, because through dance we communicate a lot. We tell our story. We want to break the borders, the barriers. Germaine and Malou stand on stage beside wide, galvanized metal bowls. They step in and out, undulating their bodies.
They give me the wish to it's very simple what I'm going to say, but it's true, to dance.
Backstage, Malou arches and stretches, bent over an old-fashioned radiator.
I think dance is fantastic. I think I will love to say to everybody to dance, to everybody in the world, please dance, because it makes you go, make you really go.
The two women, in their flowing black performance dresses, make their way backstage to the wings. Stage lights flick to darkness. Red and yellow sunrise floods the stage. Germaine and Malou silhouetted either side of the upright pole. Malou nestles into Germaine. Germaine's long fingers caress her. Faces lit by smiles. Hands play along the pole. Malou traces a wide circle with the pole. The pair move as one with relaxed grace, pulsing with the swell of the music, faces close, arms feathering. Malou darts, her swooping arms a counterpoint to the rooted figure of Germaine, her arms spread like the branches of a tree. Malou draws her fingers across her face in slow retreat as Germaine sachets, her long arms reaching to push the air away and draw it back into herself as her flat hands trace patterns in the ether and the rhythm ripples through her body. Malou presses close against Germaine's back, enfolding her. They flex forward as one with low, springy steps, undulating with easy energy, side by side. Faces tilt upwards. Apart, they patter to and fro, lost in their own worlds. Malou's light-footed path circles. Germaine, feet planted, extends arms in graceful curves. Malou advances, reverses, bare arms stroking the air, curling and uncurling. The backs of her hands joining to make butterfly wings fluttering around her. Germaine circles, positioning herself close behind Malou with a playful smile, sudden slowing as Malou pivots to reach up, gently laying her hand on Germaine's arm. Hands joined, the pair advance to the front of the stage. Malou lays her hands on Germaine's shoulders, gently guides her so they turn away. Darkness. The lights in the auditorium blur along the balconies and come into focus. The audience stands to acclaim the women. They advance from opposite wings to meet, join hands and face the audience. They bow low as one. Turn and leave the stage into the darkened wings. Guiding each other back to their dressing rooms, closing the doors. Blackness. End credits. Featuring Germaine Acogny, Malou Airaudo, Clémentine Delouis, Annick Ayeboye, Serge Arthur Dodo, Vasco Pedro Mirin. Filmmaker and director Sarah Vaughan-Jones. Now follows the production team credits. Audio description, written and voiced by Julia Grundy, with sound engineering by Gary Giles for Sightlines. Originally commissioned by Sadler's Wells, Sadler's Wells Digital Stage.